Okay. Recording.
Thank you.
Thanks for reminding me. So what Eric told us for duplication, basically, you're going to have to sponsor a lot of people. I don't know how many you guys all have. Right? Our first year we put in, I think, 60 or 70 people. I got 260 right now, not all active, of course. And probably saw Eric when he talked about when you sponsor, that he's had that sponsoring 20 people. And, when you talk about in your class 2014 when you did that training, and you said, 10 people, you're going to get, out of that, you're going to get one person that's going to maybe make diamond and above. And then you're going to get 2 or 3 discount coaches, and then the rest of the people are going to bounce in and out and quit and not ever do anything. And that's just the reality of the business. It's it's the numbers game. So I think a lot of people, when they're starting the businesses, they think, and like Eric talked about in his book, are you a poser, an amateur, or professional? And the amateurs think, oh, I'm going to get my 4 or 5 people in, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, and they're going to make me rich. And that's just not how it works. It's going to take you getting a ton of personally sponsored. Now, Jim Faubert, that's where Eric got that class of 20 thing. And so Jim Faubert is a guy that was in the network marketing profession. He actually spoke at the event, if you watched his speech. And he brought in his class of 20. And he did that 3 years ago, and he brought in 20 people all at once, and then he just worked. I mean, he's just now going to start bringing in his next class of 20 for 2015, or he did it, because we saw him in 2013. And so it's, like Eric talks about too, is bringing in a group of people, and then they're all together. You put them on as like a team. I know that's hard to do for the average person. Maybe to sit there, I can't get 20 people that quick, and that's probably true for most people, and probably unrealistic. But you're going to have to bring in a lot of people. That's what it boils down to. I think if you have less than 50 personally sponsored, that might be struggling. Some of you have been here for quite some time, and you don't have. I mean, Charlene, how many do you have personally sponsored?
You know what? I don't even know. A lot. I'll have to go look. I'll go look while you're talking.
They're not all active, of course, but so here's what Eric told us to do, and you guys may be doing it, but instead of giving them the fire hose and giving them the stuff, he said you give them these little assignments, little bit assignment. And if they don't do anything, if they don't do that, like you tell them, I want you to make your list of 20 people or 50 people, whatever the assignment is. Finish the 7-day quick start, they don't do that. He says, you're done with them.
Ooh.
And that's the harsh reality. And a lot of people are trying to squeeze every little bit of life blood out of these people, and you're trying to chase down and follow them and call on them. And we were guilty of that too. You spend a lot of time chasing these people that aren't going to maybe ever do anything. Like I said, you brought in 4 or 5 people, and you're trying to hit diamond, and bringing in your 6th, 7th, and 8th. You're trying to hit diamond with 8 person, 8 person. It won't happen. You're gonna have to, unless you got real good people that, and Charlene can attest to this, and some of you that have been, most of us have been here for some time. But so that was the biggest thing that Eric told me to do, and told us to do during our mastermind training. And he literally says, you give them a little assignment, they don't do it, you're done. You don't, and he says you can call them up every once in a while and say, hey, just kind of edge them along, but you can't stalk them and try and get them to do something. Because if you spend your time, if they won't do that, they're not going to do this. And that takes getting a lot of people in the business. And that's kind of the reality that you have to realize. I think duplication it's actually a sponsoring issue in a lot of cases. You guys may not have enough personally sponsored coaches. I know that sounds hard, but I mean, that's what the reality is you're not going to get it. And I'm sure Charlene, because you've been here for the founding coach, and Charlene didn't know anything about network marketing when she started, and then she's obviously become a good leader and everything. And like I said, I'm sure you've got quite a few personally sponsored, and you're not relying on, 10 people.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know I was doing the right thing. I mean, like you said, duplication. When we first got started, I just started signing up a ton of people And I've only got, a handful of those original people left that are doing anything. So, but they're also a big part of my business. So.
Yeah, and people are going to come in and out, and they're going to stop for a while, then they're going to go again, and so you just stay in touch with them. But the main thing is you can't chase the ones that like I said, if you got a handful of them, and you're trying to make it the star 2, 5, 10, 15, whatever. It take a lot of personal sponsor coaches, and that's what it boils down to, and then working with them. But you got to work with the willing, and unfortunately, you're going to get, like I said, 7 out of those 10, are going to just be flounder, not doing much. So, and you're going to get one maybe out of that you're going to be your diamond, but you won't know who that is. I'll tell you who it isn't, and it's 100% of the time you're going to get people, and you can ask Angie this one, but you're going to get people, and it's literally been 100% without fail, and they all of a sudden I'm signing them up, and they go, "Oh my God, I'm going to make you more money. I'm going to be your number one guy. I'm going to make $8 billion in the next 3 days, and you're going to be so proud of me." I will never, ever hear from them after that call, ever, 100%. And it's not even 99%, it's 100. And then you get a guy like I just signed up this guy, Cody, and this guy's from the military, and he's just, kind of checking it out. I spent like 4 or 5 days just reading stuff, and he's going, okay, I'm going to sign up, and this guy will be a rock star. I can guarantee. He's just got the right attitude. He just checks stuff out, and he's very diligent at what he's doing. He's not promising he's going to make $8 million in 15 minutes and, that type of stuff. So the main thing, too, is you don't know who's going to be that one that's going to do it for you. It's going to be the most unlikely person probably that, if you had known Charlene when we first met her, you're going, loser.
That was me.
Yeah, and oh my God, and Charlene, that was facetious because we were blown away by your heart. He's being a knucklehead, but yeah, no, you're all heart and just terrified.
Terrified, not knowing what the heck I was doing, most likely to not succeed. Yes.
Yeah, my favorite line is, "I don't think I can do this." And now she's and now look at her now, everybody.
But she was one thing, she was coachable. And she didn't know anything. She was a little bit fearful, like a lot of them were, but she came in and rolled up her sleeves and she went to work and she learned and she ran up against the wall, and like all of them did, and all of us have done, and she just kept on muscling it through, and then she just kept on. She became a sponsoring fool, and she's built her own team and broke away, started her own group and got a pretty sized group and had, her people there, her peeps. And so that's the simplicity of duplication from Eric. I don't know if anybody else has any comments on that, or any other things they'd like to
because
add.
I'm going to have to jump off, so I want y'all to talk about this, even if I have to come back and watch it later, and you don't have to do it right now, but make sure you talk about leads, like buying leads. Somebody had mentioned about buying those leads. I would like to know what your opinion is on that. So again, we don't have to do that now, but oops, sorry.
Tell Marty to quit barking.
Calm down, Marty. No, sorry.
So any other, anything else on duplication? Does that make sense to
That
everybody?
does. I'd like to hear from Charlene about, and you, Blake, too, and Angie, a little bit about, Karen mentioned about talking to people. I've got a coach right now who, again, is a little tenacious. However, she's always on the team calls, and she's been Brittany Tavares, that's in the group. She's been doing the Coach Basics like 3 times now, which is fine. I'm like, as long as she's doing something, I don't care how many times she does it. She's a little nervous about talking to people, doesn't know, where to find people. I know there's no magic answer to that. However, she's not great on social media, and I know you and Angie, probably because before we had a lot of Facebook, probably, didn't use social media to expand your market. And I don't know if you all bought leads or not, but, a little bit of wisdom I would pass on to Brittany about, where to find people, how to talk to people, and, that's something that I think a couple other people had asked on the Facebook page too.
I'll give my 2 seconds worth or my 2 cents worth, and then Blake and Angie can do it. But for me, it was about just because I was so busy, I was working 10 to 15 hours in my business and my job. And then I had kids and family. I literally had to make it about my business, like grocery store, gas station, wherever I was interacting with people, learning how to ask questions and talk to them and be interested in them. And I know that sounds like cliche, but that's really all it is. It takes the pressure off of, so your coach, you can take the pressure off her if she really just gets it in her head, like, I'm going to go out and learn how to make friends. And that should be her development focus. If that's her issue, she needs to learn, how to talk to people, read the How to Win Win Friends and Influence People, whatever, Danny, whoever she clicks with, Danny Johnson's forming, whatever, Jim's training. But that was key. And just asking questions and learning how to talk to people and asking and finding out, because they'll tell you what you need to because they'll tell you, I hate my job, or I'm, whatever. And you can say, hey, are you serious about that? Because if you are, I like to share something with you. But not right there. Yeah, you don't have to do it right then and there. But that's just my 2 cents worth than how I did it. The compliment, the person who serves your food, most people ignore. If they're doing a good job and you compliment them and say, hey, I think Eric even did kind of a scenario at the event with that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did with everybody. So anyway.
Thanks.
And it always doesn't have to turn into Beachbody, So.
Right.
Well, Karen, I have my team right now doing that texting blitz that that Eric talked about at the event. And they're going to start tonight. And we had a team call right before I jumped on this call, and that's what it was about. And of the 9 people on the call, they all agreed to do it. So we'll see what happens.
Cool.
So I'm hoping maybe that's one way that it takes away the pressure of, what do I say? How do I approach people? How do I, so they all have their list. So I just have them going through their list and texting 10 people, because that's where I need to start, 10 people, and just see how that goes. I'm saying that's what you should do, but I'm saying that maybe that would Brittany, it'll help her get there and show them a third-party tool. It's not easier than that. You don't have to say anything. Let the tool do all the talking.
Right.
So that's my plan. We'll see.
Well, and you can do that training I did with too. The My Hot Market, Karen.
Yeah, which was
that worked out good for you.
It was freaking fantastic.
So that's been added to Coach Basics, and this was taught to us by Curtis Broom, who's the main guy out there, and Lisa Grossman. Actually, they're the ones that came up with the texting thing too. The reason how they came up with that.
Sorry.
Marty,
hang on.
Well, man. So they. You guys all know who Curtis Broom is, right? Who's the MC at the event.
Yeah.
And Lisa Grossman spoke there. And they still work an active business worldwide or in many countries and everything. And they came up with a texting platform because in Denmark apparently came up with a new rule or a law that if I called one of you on the phone and said, hey, Karen, this is Blake, I got this great new business opportunity, you can basically throw me in jail and stuff. And so it's become illegal in Denmark to talk about business opportunities and pitch even like friends and family. So they thought, well, let's text them. And so that's how that whole training came about. And Eric just kind of took it over. So they took a negative, which is what those two do. Those two are phenomenal, as you can probably imagine. And we've known them for quite some years. And so the My Hot Market system came up, and I'm teaching this in Coach Basics, and we did it with Karen's, with a group of hers. And you could actually watch Karen's training. It's on my YouTube channel if you guys want to jump on it right now. But what they came up with was they took 6 distributors that had never done anything, and they actually started a new network marketing company. And this was probably about 8 months ago. And just they added another one to because their other one's doing good, so they thought, well, let's add this other one because they liked the product. It's a pain patch. They brought 6 people in. They turned that into like 252 people in 6 weeks. And what they did was this is the simple version of it. I'll be training on it, and it's starting next Monday. That'll be what they're going to be doing. And Karen did this, and I think she put in made $330 in a week, and had pretty good numbers. I actually have them written down, but essentially what this is you have people make their list of 20 people that if they were stuck on the side of the road, that they would come to get you no matter what. So this is your uncle, your best friend on the planet, or best friends on the planet, whoever would do that for you. So this is the mindset you got to get. They're not making a list of the guy they meet at the water cooler, once a week, like that. These are people that they're broken down the side of the road. You pick up the phone, that they're going to come and get you. And then what you're going to do is, it's real simple. Using Shakeology, you basically are going to go to them, and we got the scripts for it and everything, but in simplistic terms, you're going to basically ask them to do you a favor. And you go, hey, Uncle Bob, this is Blake. I just started a brand new business, and I'm trying to hit this thing called Success Club. And if you could really do me a huge favor, I got this really good, healthy shake, and I'd like to try it one time. So you're not, necessarily, you're going to put them on home direct if you want to, but you're going to say you want to get him to try it one time. And go, look, if you don't like the shake, you can use the whole shake to the bottom of the bag, and I'll call you, like 25 days from now. And if you don't like it, I can get you all your money back. So could you do me a huge favor and just buy this for me one time? It would really help me out. I'm really trying to win this contest. And that's kind of a paraphrase of what the scripting is. And the numbers that some people get with it are pretty phenomenal, because you're not asking them to get on Shakeology for $130 and they're looking like, wow, that's $1,500 a year, or you're not trying to pitch them on the business opportunity just yet. But what you're going to get out of that Karen got too, is you're going to get people that can't afford it or say they can't afford it. And I think, Karen, you had 4 or 5.
I think, oh wow. No, I think that was like 7 maybe.
Yeah, so I don't think, yeah, maybe it was 9. I got your number somewhere, and I don't know why.
It was a lot.
I don't know.
Are you going to do training on this, Blake? Did you say you were training on this?
Well, I have it's in my Go Emerald training, which is like Coach Basic started.
Okay.
I can add you to the list if you wanted to see the training, and then that part of it will start Monday.
Please.
So with the numbers, I think Karen, so the whole goal is to get them to do this in 7 days. This is not a month-long thing. You want 20 people. Anybody can call 20 people in 7 days and ask their best friend on the planet, hey, would you do me a favor? And that's the simplicity of it. And now what they've done, and what Lisa and Curtis learned when they're doing this, is that these people, they would average 7 to 10 out of the 20 would actually buy their patches. Karen, I think, got a similar fairly number of people didn't do as well. Some people, but you're taking away that fear, and this could be for Dana and her person. You're taking away that fear. Is like, oh my God, I gotta, try and pitch them on some long-term thing. I gotta talk about network marketing, and I gotta talk about business opportunity and all this other stuff. And you're just boiling it down to a simplistic thing. It's like if they came to your house and said, this is the person that, they would buy your Girl Scout cookies for your daughter, or, buy their Girl Scout cookies from them. So you're asking them, when you're buying Girl Scout cookies, you're not typically doing it because you can't wait to get Scout cookies. You're doing it as a favor to help the little girl out, right? Or your friend, or so you get a kitchen full of Girl Scout cookies every year. But that's kind of what this is about. But the thing is, there's a no-risk proposition for them, too. It's $130 one time, and then they get their money back. You can put them on home direct, so you get the points for it, and then just make darn sure that you hit them up on the 25th of the month, and or 25 days later, and get them off that so they don't get hit again. So if you get 7 people, now that's your story. So what then Lisa and Curtis said, now for the rest of your life, you're going to tell that story until the sun stops shining. You're going to talk about how you made $300 or $200, because we're going to make forever how many Shakeologies you sell. Imagine a new coach doing that. That's what we're taking these new coaches through this week. We got 59 people in this Coach Basics, our Go Emerald training we call it. But imagine if half of those people this next week, their second week in the business, some of them are, been in it for a while, but imagine, doing this for a week, and they put $200 to $300, $400 in their pocket in 7 days. Now they go out and they tell that story the rest of their life. Now they're excited because they've taken their business and they're a profitable business in their first 30 days or 2 weeks, really. Or if they're re-engaging their business, they can say, you know, my first 7 days of, you know, getting my business going, really getting it going, I made $200 or $300. And now they can go back to those people that did not and said, hey, I couldn't afford the, you know, remember we said you couldn't afford my Shakeology for $130? I just made $320 last week with my brand new business. Let me share the business opportunity with you, and I can teach you how you could put a couple $100 in your pocket next week. So that'll take that fear away from your coach, Dana.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
Get them to.
Because then she'll be able
What's
to.
that?
I'm excited that you're doing that in the Go Emerald because she's in it, and I'm about to get on a call with her, a couple other people, and so I'm excited that they're going to go through that process, and I'll do it too. You know.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be teaching because it's worked. It's not going to work for everybody, just like anything. But you know, we've done it with other coaches and it's worked. And it's just it's a non-threatening way to get people to open their mouth because anybody can ask anybody to do a favor, and they're not asking for a long commitment. The next thing as part of the training is they follow back up in 25 days and make sure that, you know, hey, did you like the shake? Great, I can get you on home direct. And then they just keep them on home. Say no, I like it. And they go and cancel for them, and you know, they're no worse for the wear. We, you know, got the talking, and they got some people buying some stuff. They did some retail sales, but they got that story, and that's the main thing. That's the one thing that's always, you know, back when we were doing network marketing when we first started, it was always about getting, you know, a check in somebody's hands right away.
Yes.
And that's the problem is a lot of people when you're doing these challenge groups, obviously, you're not going to get a check in their hands for 60 days or more, you know, because they're, you know, working a challenge group.
See y'all later. I gotta go.
Me too.
Bye, Charlene. Thanks.
Don't forget leads. I want to know what your thoughts are on those. Okay. Bye.
They're awesome.
Okay. Oh, good. I want to know. Okay. Well.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a great system because that's a big thing about starting new coaches right on duplication. People up. I know Risa and I talked about it at the event. And you're bringing somebody into the business and you're not able to show them or prove to them how they can make money right away. So when you don't have evidence to overcome that money objection, you can give them that proven or that pretty well documented system of $200 or $300, and you can tell them how they can make their money back almost immediately or within a week or 2 weeks. That's a lot more powerful, and it gives the sponsoring coach a lot more confidence when talking to new prospects.
Right, and you're putting a time frame on it for them. You want them to do it in 7 days. So this is not like, you know, make your list of 20 and call them over the next year. You want them to get that success story under their belt. Okay? And here again, then you're going to get these people that are just naturally going to go, I can't afford it. Basically raising in their hands, tell me about the business opportunity. I don't have any money. It's a beautiful system that is simple and easy to do, and we'll have scripts for them and everything. So it's just a matter of them picking up that phone and making that connection.
Okay, I got to run. I got Brittany on the phone. So bye, guys. I'll catch the recording later. Thank you, Blake.
Yep. So I don't know if anybody's seen this. This page kind of in the back office. It's fairly new. It's how to get your new coaches started right. We have, as you know, we have working with Denise Needham. You know, now she's not part of Team Beachbody anymore. She's working with us to help us because she knows all the inside secrets. So they completely did the how to get your new coaches started right document, and it's kind of buried in this section that I was looking through it. She told me, yeah, we redid the whole thing. And it's pretty interesting. So I think everybody needs to take a look at that, and then we can get back on. I don't know, is that this new one?
Yeah.
I think I finally found it.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of in a weird spot. It's under like follow up, and then to the right of follow up, you know, then it's underneath the customer, the starting new customers, right? And then underneath that, there's this document, and so I was looking for it.
The one that
so
has
I haven't had a chance.
Step 1, step 2 on it.
It has bridges.
What's that?
It has bridges now. They bridge step 1 to step 2 to step 3. It's really good.
Okay, so I just got it. So that shows you. So for the getting started right, I mean, I have to read that and see what it is, because when I was asking some of the questions to Denise, she was saying, well, they just redid everything, and that kind of answers. That'll answer most of your questions. What did you think about it, Tom?
I liked it a lot. I wasn't using the past ones because I found it just raises a lot of resistance in people. And this one I think is actually very good. It's using some of the techniques that I just started developing on my own from people like Ray Higdon and Eric Worre and Danny Johnson, and sort of a hodgepodge of different things that just seem to raise more curiosity. I think it does that much better, raises curiosity within people.
Okay. Yeah, so I just literally got it yesterday and haven't had a time to read it because I didn't even know it was there, so that was my bad. But
I just found it like 3 days ago.
What made you go find it? You just fell upon
I have no idea. I just woke up one day and I'm like, I wonder if they've updated those documents. It's been a while since I looked. And they did update it, and it was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, so good. That's good to hear. So that's probably a good place to start, everybody, if you hadn't seen it yet. Getting started right. I can't talk on it because I just got it myself, like Tom did, except I just got it yesterday. But so I'll read that here in the next day or two and see if we can integrate that into the Go Emerald training. What's that?
Do you know where it's located?
Yeah, you have to go Coach Training Academy, resources, and then on the left, as you scroll down on the resources, in the left-hand box where it says follow-up, hover halfway down, I think it was. And to the right of that, there's going to be, it'll say customer follow-up with some links, and then right below that, it says coach, or getting not follow up, but getting your customer started right and getting coaches started right.
Okay.
It's not in a really good spot for everybody to find, so that's what I'm going to talk to Leanne and say you need to get that out in the front a little bit more.
Yeah.
So maybe we can all review that and we can do a follow-up call or something, or talk about it on, just chat on Facebook. Any questions on that? Because I can discuss my opinion on leads.
No.
So,
Darren, you have to say it at least.
Yeah, I'm listening. And I'll take notes. I still can't write, so I take notes on my phone.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
so I just have a question. When they do the 20 people in 7 days, or however many people, and they get some people to sign up so they make some money. Is the goal of that hopefully some of them will stay on Shakeology so that at least they'll have some, commissions coming in? And then what do they do from there? Do they try to find like 10 more people and do it again?
They do that, and then they go out there and they can now start talking about the business opportunity. Because now they've made, I have a confession to make. I've never done a challenge group.
Me neither. That's not true.
And I probably will. You talk to Pete Penna. He on the challenge group.
Janelle Summers, Christine Dwyer, they don't do them.
I've done nothing but biz op. I talk about money. I talk about making money. Because you got to understand that when we started this, that's Beachbody we taught our group, Charlene, and basically how to talk about the business opportunity, because that's what Beachbody was. And then along the lines, a couple years down the road, there's a handful of coaches, and I forget who they were, but they did these challenge groups, and they stick better because they've come in and they've gone through a process of losing weight and everything like that. So they stay in the business longer because they've had that personal experience. So you're going to have less, as they call it, churn and burn, but your speed to making money is way long. And there's just as many overweight people as there are broke people, if not both. And like I said, I found the challenge group. So Beachbody tried several things over the years, and they kept, finally all the founding coaches, and we all said, we're done. We're just going to stick doing this thing. And then the challenge group stuck, and they work for some people. But like I said, to me, it's like I'd rather get somebody in here. Imagine getting somebody in here and you put $300 in their pocket next week. they're going to be excited and they'll go out and tell everybody else. Because like I said, the way the economy is heading right now, if you re-listen to Eric's book, things have changed. There's no longer the, work for 40 hours a week for 40 years for one company and retire on 40%. They call it the 40-40-40 plan. But, in fact, I'm listening to it right now again. But, and so everything changed. I got friends that, they change jobs every 2 to 5 years. And now you got, employees or employers are like, cutting people back part-time wages because they don't want to pay the new healthcare insurance law. So they're cutting. My daughter, she can't get any more than 32 hours a week because if they give, I think it's 32, she said she gets, but whatever the minimum is, because they bump her up into that, then they have to buy her healthcare insurance, and they don't do that. So she's part of this new economy and that's our opportunity to me. There's people out there, the economy is struggling. If you look at real numbers and stuff like that, and not all the fake stuff that the government puts out there, if you look at unemployment numbers, this is just a fact, but, people say, oh, we're, running at like 8% unemployment. Well, they don't, if you understand unemployment figures, they don't count people that have dropped out of the workforce, quit looking for a job. So they just count the newly employed, and so that number is hugely off. So there's a gazillion people there, way more than the government's saying, because they're not counting the people just flat out giving up. So you can talk about the business opportunity, and that's what I'm going to go back. I'm going to teach both, not teach, but I'm going to I'm going to do the change in the coach basics as an option, but I'm also going to share people how to market the business opportunity. It's a viable means, and I think most of you guys that saw, you all there at Eric's event, and I think that was one of the big takeaways I saw from everybody. It was like, oh yeah, they're all talking about business opportunities. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know it does at times.
I'm personally incredibly interested in how you teach marketing the business opportunity.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you're doing it.
Good job.
I am doing it, but I want to get a lot better at it. So I'm really anxious to hear your training on that for sure.
It's really no different than it's the same thing. People have a need, and so I share the video, and so you find somebody because most people are hurting financially. So it's, like I said, there's a certain number of people that are overweight that are good for our products and stuff. And there's an equal amount, if not more, people hurting financially that you just got to show them the business opportunity video and, get them on a 3-way call with your upline. But, that's what I'll be training on.
Cool.
Which video do you show them? Which opportunity video?
I'm actually redoing a hybrid of Beachbodies. So I'll be sharing that with everybody too. There's also something that Jim Rumps is doing. I don't know, Tom, are you part of Elite?
Yes.
Have you seen Jim's his training for his?
I did the first one they ever did. I don't remember how long ago it was. I want to say it was like a year ago or something like that. I went through his first one. It was really good. I copied everything down.
This is not his Accelerated Diamond. This is his, he calls it Accelerated Diamond Legacy.
Oh.
And
the one with the
creating your legacy. And it's another way to actually talk about the business and stuff. And what he did is, what happened to Jim, and I got his videos I did a test of it on my YouTube channel. What he did was he's got in his family people that the men never make it past age 65. Mm-hmm. And his dad, the beer, was suffering from diabetes and overweight and, wasn't getting healthy and said he was going to change. And I think he smoked and he had a couple bypass surgeries. And long story short, just before his 65th birthday this year in July, he died from his complications from that. So Jim thought, wow, how can I turn this into a positive? So he said, I need to change this legacy because it's a history in his family of all the men dying before 65 years of age. And so he created this really cool little 3-4 minute video. You can see it on my YouTube channel. because he's done a whole new legacy training on it, and it's a whole training for how to do it with using his videos. I'm not teaching that one. I'll probably share it with people if they want to do it, but it's a great strategy. I took his video, and we don't have his story. I made my own introductory video. I played his video, and then I show his whole thing is getting him into the 21-day fix and getting them to kind of get fit in 21 days. And so I'll probably share that with people as an option, because what I'm going to do with this Go Emerald training is I'm going to get everybody, I'm going to give them options. So somebody doesn't want to do a challenge group and you want to do the business opportunity, you can do the business. And if you don't want to do the business opportunity and you want to do, that, so it's like letting people do what they're going to be maybe more comfortable with. And I'm also going to be teaching this market system that I just explained to you. So we're going to have 3 different ways for them to make money out of this Go Emerald training. So any questions on any of that?
I just didn't know that you could do an intro or something. I was training for a little bit, but then I got sick at the beginning of it, so I didn't get to do it. And I thought he was trying to get you to make your own video, I think what he was doing.
Yes, he makes you use the video it's all you. He just gives you like kind of the format for it, but you do the whole thing. It was really awesome. It was a great group.
What do you do if you don't really have that kind of a story?
Right. Well, I'm not. What's that, Karen?
I just said you make the story. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be what is in your mind, what you want to leave for your legacy, for your family, your whatever. It doesn't have to be some gut-wrenching thing, which with Jim, it was so incredibly horrible. It was really sad. But it doesn't have to be. It has to be true and authentic to you, and that's it.
Yeah. So you can do what Karen just said, and he does that one every 60 days, I think. I might be starting one a month, but I took his video because I don't have the story. And like I said, I just put a front end on it saying, hey, this is Blake, and I want you to hear this really incredible story. It's really heart-moving. We're going to help a lot of people with this. And then I play Jim's video, and then I also tell him, make sure after you watch this video, I'm going to come back on the end and ask you a couple questions, and then I come on after Jim's video, and I do a close.
Where can I find your video? Is it on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, both those are close to the top. Just Google my YouTube, my name, and then it's called I think it's called My Fitness Legacy or something like that.
So, can we do that with his video or not?
I was just going to ask that.
Because I don't have a story either.
I actually created that video. I mean, because I have a story, so I actually created what Jim did in the favor video. You don't need a story. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily. You gotta have something you're going to attract people with, really. I mean, if you have a great story, it's awesome, but I don't know if you necessarily have to have. It's like Karen said, you got to have something that's authentic to you. What you're trying to get across to people and how you're trying to attract them. What kind of people you're trying to attract. So think about who you're trying to attract, and then you can create your authentic story around that. What works for you. Or you could do like Blake said, do an intro, share Jim's, or I'll give you guys the link to my video, the same kind of thing, and go, and then do that and then come back and do kind of like a close at the end or something.
Yeah, and I'm actually batting around. So his is around fitness and health, obviously, because his dad passed away and his dad's dad passed away before 65 and so on. Well, you can also do that about your financial legacy. We have an amazing story about losing our job and, and almost our house and dang near my marriage and everything, and our marriage because it was so stressful. And so you do that same concept based around financial stuff, and then you got your own video, and then you just play the beat. So you do your video, and then have it go right into the Team Beachbody Business Opportunity video. So That might be going to be more of an advanced. Yeah, that's going to be more of an advanced training after this, because I don't want to get too much on with these new coaches. I really want them to focus on the do me a favor thing and understanding business opportunity and challenge groups.
Yeah.
Do you have an
But I'll
ideal
make one and then
video in mind?
go ahead.
Do you have an ideal length? Like I've got one I made for the business opportunity. It's about 20 minutes long. But
Yeah, that can be
I get kind of compliments, and once in a while I'll hear somebody say it's too long, but for the most part people seem to love it. But I was wondering if you have like an ideal length of a video explaining up.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it depends on the generation. My kid's 2 minutes. you know, it's got to be able to be downloaded on their phones, and I think it's got to be. From what I've been hearing, it's like 7-8 minutes. I think that's probably Beachbody shortened the business opportunity. Remember, it used to be 25 minutes, 23, and then it's down to 12, and now it's 7 or 8. And, that seems to be what.
Seems to be. I think if it's going to be longer than that, it just has to be incredibly interesting. It's like there's a shift burden that has to be, and there has to be a hook like every other second to keep somebody on that long.
Yeah, and you got to throw testimonials in there, at least one or two, and it's tough now, or their attention spans are really short,
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I think the stuff like Jim did with the legacy thing, the My Hot Market, do me a favor thing. That's another way. And then I'm kind of refining the whole business opportunity approach, because what worked, things changed quite a bit. Now, when we first started, like somebody mentioned, there was no Facebook, so people would find me on our website and go, well, this guy seems pretty good, I'll pick up the phone, call him or whatever. Now if they find me on the internet, then they go right to Facebook and see if you're doing anything on Facebook, or see what you're doing on Twitter, and then of course by then to 8 million other people, and they get distracted, and so it's gotten a lot tougher, to kind of market to people.
And a lot of people don't want to necessarily talk on the phone, because I've talked to people on Facebook, and then I'm like, well, do you have a second to just talk real quick on the phone so I can explain this to you, because you're then writing back and forth, and they're like, I got to go out the door, now I got to pick up my kids, no I can't, or they're just gone.
Are you familiar with Voxer?
What?
It's a phone app called Voxer. I love it. It solved that problem for me almost entirely. It's you can use it on smartphones. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie device. You can get somebody on Voxer, and if you're both on your phone at the same time, it sends the voice messages, live streaming messages. But also, if they're not there, it just waits for them for whenever they check next. So if somebody, they got to go. It saves a lot of time. You don't have to get on the phone and say hello and goodbye and stuff, and you'll just be waiting in limbo. But then if they're on at the same time, because it's live streaming, then it's almost like a real phone conversation too. It's just most of the time, if there's somebody that I'm really interested in talking to, I'll get them on Voxer. There's a free version and a business version. I get the free version, and I've never been like, oh, I wish I had the business version. So obviously the free version covers everything you need. But look into that. It's a free app, Voxer. It's pretty awesome.
I'll check that out. I was just thinking, though, like now at least you can do voice messages with Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So at least
this
that's
is
like
way
a little
better.
bit better, but
this is way better.
See if I can get them on that.
Yeah. So far with most people, it hasn't been a big deal at all. I just tell them you're going to love this app. It's going to save you tons of time, and we'll be able to talk. So as long as I plant that nugget in there, most people seem to be on board with it. And then once they get on it, they're like, wow, you're right, Tom. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's a good app. So I'm a little bit more than we got to get off because we got another call, but somebody wanted to hear about leads, so I'll give you my perspective on them. It works, but you have to have really thick skin. People don't pick up the phone now, of course, and everything, so they can be hard. The way that I think somebody posted on our group page, mlmleads.com. That's a guy named Enrique Galabati. He's been doing leads forever. There's cutting edge leads, real-time leads. You can buy leads that literally when they sign up the form, They come through, and you have to be sitting at your desk, and you can, they'll actually come, or you can pick up the before they hit the submit button on it. So those are called real-time leads. It's filled out that form. Then there's two types of forms. When you want to look at leads, there's a short form where they just kind of fill out maybe their name and some basic information, maybe name and email, and they raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm looking to make some additional income. Then there's a long form lead where they fill out that information, but then they might ask them a series of questions, and well, how much money do you have to make, or would you like to make? How much money do you have to invest in your business? Have you ever had a business before? And questions like that. So there might be 5 to 7 questions they have to fill out. You're going to pay more for that lead, because when these generation companies are going leads through, or trying to generate leads, if they send them to a form, you get a lot more people respond because they only have to fill out a short form. If they fill out a long form, more people are going to go, God, I don't want to give all that personal information. So they're going to get less people. Less people are going to fill out that form, but it's going to be a much more high quality lead, and you're also going to pay more money for it. Then you can get phone verified leads. They've actually, you're going to pay more for that upon the company, but then they're going to fill out the form, could be a short form or a long form, and then they're going to them and verify that whatever they put in was actually that person, and they have that, and they've filled out that questionnaire, and then they'll sell you that lead. So that lead is going to be another step up for what you're going to pay for the leads. Then you can buy leads once they've gone through and churned them. You want to find out maybe are they being sold 1 time, 2 times, 5 times, or whatever, because the leads will be cheaper. So they might take that lead and they might sell it to 5 different network marketing companies, but not, and they'll typically make sure that, like it's a nutrition company, a phone company person. It might be, there won't be another, like, we would not be in a lead bucket with Visalis because we're obviously the same thing. Then you can get a lead that says, no, I want a lead that is just exclusive. Well, guess what? You're going to pay more for that lead. The fact is, I think most people, what we learned when we were doing, I haven't called leads in a long time. If you want to call leads, I'd highly recommend you go to toddfalcone.com. He's got, and you saw him speaking there, and he's got some crusher stuff. He's got his stuff where he dials light leads, and he calls hotel managers, and he calls other people that have managerial skills, but probably aren't making that much money. Like somebody typically working in a small hotel, he just picks up the phone and starts talking to them and saying, hey, can I speak to the manager of the hotel? And then from the recruiting department or something like that, and he just goes, hey, do you keep your options open for ways to make additional income? Again, he's talking about the business opportunity, and he gets talking to him. You can buy his prospecting series where he literally does nothing but dials, and you can get hundreds of him just dialing. He did it at the very first recruiting master we went to 3 years ago. He actually got up on stage, they put up a phone, and we had to all be quiet, and he sat there and live dialed leads right there on the stage. And he just doesn't care. He sat there, and it was a hilarious thing. He sat there and he's dialing this lead, and this lady, he goes, hello, and he had some basic information, and then this lady hangs up on him. He goes, Mr. Sponsor, I quit. And, because he got hung up on, he got a negative or whatever. And, because you saw Todd Falcone's personality. He's just hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
He just doesn't care, and that's the problem is. And so you have to, they will work, but it's going to be harder nowadays too because people aren't picking up the phone. So you got to try the texting thing, combine it with stalking them on Facebook because you can find out your lead on Facebook. So you got to hit them with several different things nowadays if you want to try. If you do want to buy leads. Now, if you buy one of the leads that are phone verified and all that type of stuff, yeah, that will work. We're actually testing one right now. Now, it's not going to be feasible for probably most people because it's costing us $3,000 for 60 days, but it's by a company called myphoneroom.com, and you can go there, check it out. And they're starting a new program where people come in, they fill out a long form. They're guaranteeing us 50 personally sponsored signups in 60 days.
Whoa.
And it's a new system. So basically what that $3,000 sounds like a lot, but if we get them into a challenge pack, you know, we cover $2,000 to $3,000 in money back, so it could actually pay for itself. If it works, we're going to roll it to people on the team so that they don't have to, if we can, because then after our first 60 days is over, we can buy leads from them and just keep doing the system. So what these leads are doing, these leads actually, they fill out a long form. Then my phone room calls them and verifies that they were the person. And then what they've done is they've created a letter. There's a guy named Gary Halbert that is a old copywriter guy that has been around forever. And so they're writing a custom letter for us. And then once these, we're going to get 100 leads a month, or no, 6 months is what it is we get. So we're going to get, and they threw in another 100 or 500 leads. So we're getting 1,100 leads for that price and part of the system. And then what they found in their testing is because guess what? All the, like we're talking about, the phone doesn't work. People are, you know, Facebook, they can not answer you if they don't want to. So they found out now that it's going back to mail, to snail mail. People will actually look at their mail now. So now they're being verified and saying, hey, be look on the lookout for an email. I mean, a letter from you know, one of the people that's going to talk to you about the business opportunity. It's exclusively to us. They mail us the letters after they've talked to the people, and then we have to address them, sign them, stick them in an envelope, and send them off. And these are 3 different letters that we send off because people aren't answering their phones. People aren't, you know, this. So they're going to get people to go, oh yeah, this is the people I filled out that form on. And the letter, I haven't seen the letter yet, so I don't know, or the 3 letters yet, because it's supposed to be written for us to get them to chime up. And then they're building a Facebook page for us that they said is going to help convert leads for you as well. I haven't seen that, so I'm just going to share that with everybody as we roll it out and test it. But if it worked and we get 50 leads, they're guaranteed. And if we don't get 50, they said, well, they'll keep feeding us and get those 50. So if we get 50 signups and we get them on, you know, we make, you know, $70, $100 on, you know, some challenge pack or something, you know, times that, they'll pay for themselves. So that's a very, very high-end lead that obviously most people can't afford, but we will hopefully be able to scale that. They have the $10,000 package where you can get a group of people, or we just buy after our month up. I said 60 days, but it's 6 months. We can then buy leads and just keep them in that system and say, okay, we got one up, and then once we know that cost of that lead, it's actually a sign-up real, and pass them off to people on the team and say, look, here's somebody's ready to sign up. Here, it's going to cost you $50, but maybe you make 70 on a challenge pack. That kind of makes sense, or did I lose everybody?
Do you have any idea how they can guarantee 50 actual enrollments with the purchase of a challenge pack, or am I hearing that incorrectly?
They're not guaranteeing what they'll buy. They're just guaranteeing that we'll get 50 signups for that $3,000. And what they can't guarantee, they're not guaranteeing, you know, my guess or goal is obviously to get them into a higher end challenge pack, but that's, you know, they could buy Shakeology and then we're only going to make, you know, $1,500 if we all of them got on Shakeology.
So could they come in for free?
Now they're saying that, they're basically saying that they're signing them up as distributors, you know.
Okay.
Something.
Okay. That's really interesting.
And they're not cheap. They've been doing this for a long time. You know, you just have a phone, or they don't have this program on their website. They got another one where they dial leads to them, because you can actually use them. They're expensive. I think their main program too is like $3,000, but you can actually buy leads and give them to them. They will call them for you if you don't want to. And then once they get them warmed up for you, then they'll send them back to you and say, hey, it's gone through. And, you know, so that's the high end option from, you know, buying what the other leads I talked to you about. You can also buy what's called seasoned leads. And these are leads after, they might make that lead exclusive to you for, let's say, 30 days. Then after 30 days, you don't have done anything with it, then they throw that lead back in the bonus pool, and now that becomes what they call a 30-day lead. That 30-day lead, you can buy those for sometimes, you know, pennies on the dollar, and then it becomes a numbers game if you just burn through the leads. Now you can use something we've used in the past. It's called a phone burner. What phone burner is you put one of these on, and then you get your leads from the lead company. You dump the leads into the system, and it's a web-based system, and I think it was like $100 a month or something like that. We haven't used it in a while, but you can go look up Lead Burner or Phone Burner. And there might be a couple other ones now too. And I'll teach you another strategy I did with personal trainers, but you can do that with them, and you can take the leads, you put them into this thing, and then you hit dial. So what this thing will do is you can talk to about 100 leads in about probably 60 minutes, or go through 60 leads or 100 leads in 60 minutes. So what it does is it starts dialing 2 numbers right at once. You're just listening on your cell phone, because what are you going to get? Probably what, 8 times out of 10 you're going to get people that just don't answer, right? And it's going to go to voicemail. So first I got to backtrack. So you record your greeting into the system. So you just say, hey, this is Blake. I'm calling you back because you went to one of our websites and you filled out one of the forms, and I just want to get back with you and talk about, whatever they mentioned in that their form. You put that recording into the system, and then you dial your leads, and then let's say you're going to get 8 out of 10, you're going to get a voicemail typically. So as soon as you're dialing, you're just paying it. Listen, as soon as that thing, and you get an answer machine, you hit voicemail on the system, and it goes off and it waits for the outgoing message of that voicemail to stop playing. It immediately starts dialing another number for you. And so the system's now balancing 3 things. It's got 1 lead still dialing. It's got another lead it started to dial. The first one went to voicemail. It's waiting for the outgoing voicemail to go. And once it's done, it plays your voicemail greeting into the system. It's already off to dialing 2 more leads. Now, if you get somebody that picks up, now you hit the answer button and you have a conversation. So you can use a system like that. So there's a guy named Wade Boggs that's part of MLM Leads. His training might be on there. This is a young guy, 24 years old, and this was a couple of years ago. You can go to MLMleads.com, and he may or may not, he may only be in the paid section. He dials 12,000 leads a month, and using a phone burner. He actually buys 4,000 leads, but he dials them all 3 times. And so when he was doing that training, he was burning through 12,000 calls doing, phone burner. And he's a multi-millionaire in the profession, because he's like Todd Falcone. They just pick up the phone and call. So if you want to do leads, you just got to sit down and you go, an hour, and I'm just going to call 100 people, and you're going to get business. But you're going to, and you can buy the 60-day leads, you can buy 90-day leads, you can really buy a boatload of those for like 10 cents a piece if you want. Another trick we used when we were doing leads, I called from the list, because most people go through, they buy the leads. So if you buy a season when it's 30 or 60 years old, most people are going to go down 10, 15, 20 people, a bunch of no's, and quit. So then I'll buy those leads, and I'll start calling from the bottom up, and they've never been contacted yet. That's a strategy you can do.
That's awesome.
I'll talk real quick about, because I got to get off, but you can go out there, personal trainers. I have a site that's I've used this strategy in a while, but I'm probably going to get it fixed up. But I have personal trainer benefits. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.com, but I went out and find personal trainers' phone numbers. You can Google a list and find personal trainers, and I use this thing called callfire.com. What callfire is, it auto dials for you. So you put all your leads into the callfire, and you record a recording into the system, and it'll just blast out the leads. Now that you can get potentially into trouble with the do not call list, but here's what I did that was different. So I found these leads. I found a place online that had like 700 personal trainers. I Googled personal trainer directories, and then I found the directory, and there's a list there's all these phone numbers from these personal trainers all around the country. I went to elance.com. I found somebody, and I paid him $80 to sit there and put all 700 and some odd personal trainers into an Excel spreadsheet. We then put them in to callfire.com. And here's the recording I left on the thing, because I know that most of the people are going to go to voicemail. But here's the interesting thing that happened with it, and it'll blow your mind what you can do. And you can still go out there and find, there's a gazillion personal trainers out there. But so what it did is we put the recording was something along the lines like this. So, hi, my name is Blake, and I'm sorry, and this is key. I'm sorry I got voicemail. just want to let you know that I see that you're a personal trainer, and my company has a way to put, I can get you 1 to 2, maybe sometimes 3 new paying clients into your business every single week. If you'd like some more information on that, then give me a call. Of course, that's getting them to join as a coach and get our customer leads, and they can go ahead and coach them, teaching them about coaching virtually, and that's what Personal Trainer Benefits did. So what that did is you can set CallFire to do one of 3 things. You can set it to dial live only, meaning if it goes to voicemail, it just hangs up on it and doesn't. If it gets a live person, then it'll start playing the recording for them. And then the third option is it'll do both. Well, what I did is because most people have cell phones nowadays. So what he did was I had it dialed just voicemail only. Right. So then I had that recording. So it sounded like I was leaving a live message. I just said, "Hi, this is Blake. I'm sorry I got your voicemail." So it sounds like I actually left a real message. So they don't think that I was actually, call spamming them or whatever. And here's what happened to us. When it got a live cell phone, it hung up on them. Our phone rang off the hook for the next hour with probably about 50 calls because all these people are going, "Hey, you just called my phone number and hung up on me. Who is this?" Start the conversation. You'll get too many calls.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of things, and you can probably do that with any other. I don't know who else you could do it with. Massage people, and how, I don't know. You have to think about that. I just did personal trainers. There's enough of them out there. So those are the kind of the systems. And like I said, I got to get on another call, cram some food down my throat, and get on a call at 8 o'clock. But did any of that help you guys? You think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it did.
I'm looking forward to hearing more about that phone thing. I forget what you called it as it gets rolled out. That sounds really interesting.
The call fire or call burn or phone burner?
Probably phone burner. I remember phone was in it somewhere. The one that they're actually going to have like 50 enrollments that they guarantee. That's
my phone.
my phone room.
.com. You can, like I said, you can go there and kind of check out what they do. Because I said they'll call your lead for you, or you can buy leads from them, or you can buy leads from another company, and they'll call you. So it's something to go look at and just, like I said, I don't know what they choose to join anymore.
I'd actually
kind of expensive.
I'd actually be interested to fill out a form like I'm a lead and experience what it's like to have them talking to me, so I know how they'd be talking to maybe people that I'd be collecting from them. Huh? That's
yeah. And then you can turn it around on them.
Yeah. Hey, is this it? Do you keep your options open? Is this it for you?
Yeah, and there's more you can do in the leads, but that's a good start, I think, and kind of a good high level view. And, like I said, I would tell you probably the number one. I know Ray Higdon. I don't know what, I think Todd Falcone, you're a big fan of all those guys, Tom, but I think Todd Falcone is probably better for calling leads with his trainings that he has.
Yeah, his trainings are amazing.
And he's starting a team, like it's a kind of a group. Like I think it's $500, and you get him for, I think it's 2 months or 3 months, something like that. And we've had people who have gone through that. I haven't done it, but they say it's like pretty awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so I gotta get off. It was recorded, so I'll put it up whenever I can get it up, and then on my YouTube or and go.
All right.
Go eat.
Thanks, Blake. Appreciate it.
Dinner's ready. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.